Hey, shalom, shalom. Just give me a minute, just setting up. All right. Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Bakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar. Out here holding camp on a Wednesday night, midweek camp. And as always, right before I get into this street lesson or this video, this message goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. Okay. Okay, and also to this message goes out to the Israelite foreigners, okay, that's scattered amongst, the heathen nations, and they may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Okay? And Shalom. Okay? And so once again, man, out here to prophesy the downfall of America, okay, which is known as Babylon the Great, according to the scriptures. Okay? And eventually, we at the point of this place destruction, man. Okay, when it comes to the biblical Edomites, okay, which is known as today the so-called white race, okay, that's in power. Okay, starting with these elites on down to the less luminary ones, okay, down to the average American Edomite here today and worldwide. Okay, because now we're in the time of their destruction. And that's why Yahweh Shai set up the prophets, man. Okay, that condemn the wickedness of Esau, Edom. Okay, and also as well, when it comes to the prophesying of the downfall of this place, America, the teach repentance when it comes to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, once again, which are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay, because eventually this place is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fire at the peak of the Third World War. And also, it's going to issue in the time of who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, okay, which is true name in the Hebrew. Okay, Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the deliverer. And Yahweh Shai is coming back to deliver the nation of Israel, start with the elect, which were considered the 144,000 and the 1/3 that's destined to be saved. Because 2/3 of so-called Negro, Latino, Native American descent of Israel going to be destroyed, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. Okay? But I want to start off with, now coming to the time of, like I said, Esau Edom downfall, that we're seeing at this current time, President Donald Trump putting these tariffs on other countries, which leading to a domino effect or self-inflicted wound or self-imploding, okay, that's going to cause an economy crash to this place, America. Okay, as now we're about to witness the coming of inflation, hyperinflation, layoffs, okay, when it comes to the jobs, okay, certain benefits being cut, government aid being cut, okay, and really, when it comes to Trump, he's doing the bidding of these elites, okay, because we know these elites of Esau Edom, when it comes to the central bankers, okay, they want to bring a cashless society, man. That's all ties in the prophecy of Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, which is known as the mark of the beast. Okay, when it comes to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, which is going to replace the physical dollar. Okay, and this place is moving toward, or these elites are moving towards a digital currency, man. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into the scriptures. Okay, which all that's leading to, as we're at this point in time of approaching Jacob's trouble, okay, approaching civil unrest, okay, uproars of the people, okay, more financial woes, okay, leading to shortages, okay, because now due to these tariffs, okay, a lot of businesses such as your retail stores, okay, grocery stores, marketing places, in general, okay, coming to the point of more shortages and a financial crash, man. Okay, which is these elites agenda. And let me get into I'm gonna get the book of Ecclesiastes. So this is the time now, as Yahweh Shah have his men out here on the highways and byways, and his word being published by the way of the internet, okay, giving that forewarning, okay? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Okay, yeah, we're approaching the time of the evil days, okay, which the word evil mean bad times, man. Okay, when it comes to this place of America. Okay, once again, which is known as Babylon the Great and other, ancient empires. Okay, but mainly Babylon the Great, spiritually. Okay, because the word Babylon in the Hebrew, Baal, okay, meaning confusion. And that's what you have here in America, a bunch of confusion. Okay, especially when it comes to the time now, this economy is on the verge of collapsing. Okay, these people, mainly our people, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, not knowing the time that you're in, man. Okay, a lot of our people still want to hold on to these construction names or corporation names or oppression. Okay, they trusting in, still believing that they so-called blacks, okay, African Americans, Negroes, Latino, Hispanics, Native Americans. Okay, so that's a bunch of confusion. Okay, when it comes to our people not knowing their true biblical nationality and not knowing the times that we're about to enter into, man. Okay, when it comes to the words of Yahweh Shah, of prophecies, okay? Okay, our people are into different sets of religions, okay, still following after Christianity, Islam, okay, Roman Catholicism, Egyptology, Buddhism, Hinduism, okay, just trusting in this place, worshiping all the idols of this world, man, okay? But the job of the prophets is to come out here to give them that forewarning and teach repentance. Okay, to turn back to your power, man. Okay, that Yahweh Shah is the true living power. Okay, and when it comes to the law, statutes, commandments, it was only given unto us. Okay, and when it comes to salvation, salvation is only for Israel. Okay, and at this time, like I say, starting with the elect. But majority of our people, they're gonna feel the wrath of the Lord. Okay, as we're about to witness this coming of a financial crash, man, leading to Esau, Edom, bringing forth the NWO, or attempting to bring an NWO, okay, by, eventually implementing the RFID micro, okay? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Okay, once again, the word evil means bad times, okay? Which is going to point it to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, Jacob's trouble. And it says, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And we're coming to that point in time. Okay, because right now, the majority of our people are in the spirit of mirth. Okay, when it comes to the entertainment, the sports. Okay, you got the NBA playoffs, taking place. Okay, the baseball season, hockey. Okay, the WNBA starting back up, when it comes to sports, because we in the sports, okay, but then again, we measuring the times, man. Okay, unlike majority of our people, okay, then, majority of our people in the spirit of the coming of prom and high school prom, okay, college graduations, high school graduations, vacations, family reunions, spring break, bike week. Okay, as we coming in the time of spring and enter into the summer. But at the time now, man, as this economy is on the verge of crashing, you got Trump, more and more pushing executive orders, Okay, now these tariffs about to take effect. Okay, since the tariffs they done put on America, due to Trump putting on China, Canada, Mexico. Okay, and a lot of goods. Okay, this place is known for. Okay, it's known for being imported. Okay, when it comes to the docks, the ports. Okay, the trucking business. Okay, all that's about to come to a halt. And these other countries are retaliating against these tariffs, man. Okay, that mainly China not sending their goods over here to America. Okay, which is gonna lead to more of a financial crash to this place, America. Okay, inflation. Okay, soon to be hyperinflation. Okay, but this is the time now to seek Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, while his men, okay, all this word can be found. Okay, because soon Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to remove his prophets. Okay, and it says Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 2. I'll start off at 1 again. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Okay, the time now. Okay, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. And it's going into this place on prosperity. Okay, when it comes to the knowledge of this place, which is nothing but wickedness. Okay, because the wicked himself, Esau Edom is ruling. Okay, and so when it comes to Esau Edom system, okay, when it comes to the financial system or people here in America, okay, starting with our people, okay, because this place is our captivity, which majority of our people don't know. But when it comes to most of the average American, okay, citizen, okay, they starting to feel the blows, okay, of these tariffs, okay, inflation, okay, when it comes to job losses, okay, when it comes to poverty, okay, homeless, okay, etc. Okay, all these Americans about to start feeling it. Okay, food shortages, etc. Okay, about to take place. Okay, but when it comes to the America, this place are known, okay, be the forerunner, okay, when it comes to this economy or so-called lifestyle, the way to be. And that's why you have all nations over here, okay, or nations that desire or once desired to come over here, okay, and seek a better lifestyle here in America. But now all of this coming to the point of a collapse, okay. And when it comes to the ways of this place, okay, and it says, while the sun or the light or moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Yeah, when it comes to this economy, okay, especially when now seeing the stock market, crashing more and more or plummeting. Okay, now due to these tariffs, but the stock market always been to the point of a crash, man. Okay, as this place is witnessing now $200 trillion in debt. Okay, and now you're at the point, okay, that these American people about to feel it. Okay, especially when we know what happened in 2020 when it comes to the whole the COVID situation. Okay, that led to a lot of lockdowns, shutdowns, business losing, people losing business, job losses. Okay, a lot of these, mom and pop stores, retail stores closing down, or it was just a limit of resources into the stores. Okay, and America never bounced back from that. Okay, even during the time of Biden regime. Okay, or administration. Now Trump back in the office, he even going to tighten the squeeze even more. Okay, when it comes to the America finances. Okay, you got Elon Musk, part of his cabinet. Okay, when it comes to the whole Doge financial situation. Okay, or the Treasury. Okay, when Trump came back in the office, which now he's done past 100 days. Okay, coming back in the office. Okay, and look how he's been moving. Okay, right now, like I said, with Elon Musk, okay? With this whole, like I said before, these tariffs took place, or these sanctions took place that Trump put in an executive order. Okay, they already been, due to the whole Doge situation, they've already cut certain financial aid or government aid here in America. Okay, such as, when it comes to food programs, EBT, okay, stamp, we call it the stamps, wheel on meals, okay, certain, WIC, okay, they cut, social security, okay, health care, certain veteran aid, okay, veteran aid, okay, when it comes to this place, America. But now these tariffs about to take effect, okay, to the point that now they're saying in the coming weeks, leading to the, the future of the, coming months, between, now May and June and July, they're already saying expect prices to go up, man, okay? Like I said, the stock market, permanent. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. And it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be dark. Yeah, the grinders going into the jobs, man. Okay, in America. Okay, like I said, layoffs, man. You're hearing more and more of that now. Okay, today, brothers more and more, doing videos and posting, articles or news or current events when it comes to the jobs, due to the tariffs about to take effect. A lot of these people getting laid off, man. Okay, when it comes to these, government jobs, plantation jobs, manufacturing jobs, the ports, okay, trucking, okay, and if they ain't getting laid off, okay, their hours getting cut. Okay, meaning what? They pay gonna get cut. In the meantime, things are going up when it comes to the average consumer. Okay, because when it comes to the average worker here in America, most likely they're the average consumer. Okay, and you got a lot of people quitting their jobs, man. Okay, they're burning out, giving up on on their careers. Okay, because they can't see, to make ends meet. Okay, especially, you got certain individuals, okay, but especially if they got a family, okay, and they got a high paying, cost of living, okay, or trying to take care, their mortgage, the car payments, insurance that come with it, okay, food at that, okay, the utilities when it comes to the light, okay, light bills, Wi-Fi, etc., man. When it comes to this place, more and more financial crisis, things going up, and at the same time, the dollar is devaluing, and people getting laid off, man. Okay, that's why it's going to lead to more of a civil unrest, okay, civil war, which that what these elites want, man. Okay, when it comes to these central bankers, man, because like I said, they want to bring in a cashless society when it comes to the NWO. Okay, and part of the NWO is to bring order out of chaos, man. Okay, when it comes to certain resources, okay, that they about to come to the point or rational. Okay, it's about to be a rational system. Okay, but it says Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few, and those that look out of the windows shall be darkened. Yeah, so the windows that be darkened going into the opportunities. Okay, trying to find success or living here in this place, America, man. Okay, but more and more, it's looking to the point of no return. Okay, this place is on the verge of crashing. Okay, you got Trump, talking about, when it comes to student loans. Okay, to get rid of that. Okay, that people that have student loans, they gotta, pay their interest on the student loans. Okay, in the meantime, most of these people that went to college don't have the successful job that they went to school for or college for. Okay, they got an average 9 to 5. Okay, or not even that. Okay, but then again, they ain't debt. And now they talking. I really got Trump talking about some they got to pay the student loans. Okay, when it comes to the interest, which is usury, man. Okay, which is unlawful. Okay, according to the scriptures. Okay, but we talking about Esau, Edom, the devil, man. Okay, but now these people about to feel the suffering. Okay, so you got the up and coming generation. Okay, and they're looking for success and looking for the hope in this place. But now they're seeing more and more. Okay, that is falling. Okay, right along with the rest of the people of this here in America. And it says, verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, going to the mirth of this place, man. Okay, and at the same time going into the manufacturing and the business of this place, man. Okay, when it comes to this economy crisis, man. Okay, let me see. And when the doors in the street, okay, are shut, when it comes to the business, and what do you think going to happen? Civil unrest, uproars of the people. Okay, the coming of martial law, which you had Trump just now. Okay, passed an executive order. Okay, to fund the police force. Okay, here in America with military aid. Okay, militarizing. Okay, the police force, man. Okay, give them aid, give them more money. Okay, and you got Trump already talking about, when it comes to the, like the latest executive order is going to target criminals. Okay, when it comes to the Americans and citizens that's out there protesting or rallying, okay, or doing crimes. Okay, so now you got the police, out there, okay, that they have lethal force and the military aiding. Okay, and mainly we're gonna get caught up into that, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, mainly the 2/3, man. Okay, when it comes to more and more the Insurrection Act that Trump put in place as well. Okay, that's going to lead to more martial law. Okay, which martial law meaning the military taking over the government. There gonna be no more constitution rights. Okay, none of that madness, man, that you Americans believe in and protesting and marching for. Okay, Trump is going to the stage of being more of a dictator and a tyrant. Okay, which once again he's doing the bidding of these elites, man. Okay, and so when all hell breaks loose and anarchy take place and civil unrest take place, they already got their troops in place. Okay, yeah, that's why you're hearing more and more about martial law. Okay, detention centers, travel bans, curfews. Okay, AI, surveillance. Okay, biometric. Okay, more of smart cities. Okay, carbon footprint. Okay, carbon tax. Okay, all that's going to center around that MOTV. Okay, and now they talking about more about the real ID. Okay, a digital ID. Okay, that people, which that's going to lead to the MOTV eventually. Okay, the physical RFID micro. Okay, but now they talking about, when it comes to this whole real ID. Okay, now they pushing it now when it comes to traveling, when it comes to the airports. Okay, that people that have their regular ID, you're trying to board, a plane. Okay, they're gonna have to, be in one line, they process themselves. They're trying to get on board on the plane. But those that got the real digital ID or ID, when it comes to how they moving now, it's gonna be access. They're gonna be quicker to get on board or get on their flights. But those that don't have that digital ID or that real ID, it's gonna be a process for them, and they will have to, eventually through gradualism or condition. Okay, they're gonna have to, if they want to travel, they're gonna have to take the digital real ID. Okay, but that's all conditioning to leading to eventually that RFID micro. Okay, as we move into that more and more of a technocracy, man. okay, as AI, okay, taking place, which is all Esau Edom wickedness on the left hand side when it comes to his witchcraft, man. Okay, but we seeing how the stage is being set, man. Okay, and it says Ecclesiasticus or Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the street when the sound on the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Hey, so going into this place, America, man. Okay, when it comes to this entertainment. Okay, you see how the music is. Okay, you seeing the entertainment. Okay, which a lot of it is nothing but Satanism. Okay, mainly when it comes to our people, when it comes to these sellouts, man. Okay, a lot of our people are not preparing themselves for the times ahead. Matter of fact, let me get this. But everything, still, kind of reasonable. Okay, prices ain't, really shot up like that. Okay, but when these tariffs take effect in the coming weeks or months, then people gonna recognize. Okay, then they're gonna realize, okay, that they're gonna take more dollars, okay, to buy the, even necessary things, okay, to be sustained here in America. Let's get this. That second address. The second address, chapter 16. Let me see. Is it 16? Let me see. Yeah, 16. Yeah, second address, chapter 16, verse 21. And it says, not starting at verse 17. And it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay, so this is Esdras, and giving the foreseeing or prophesying in the times that we're at now. Okay, Esdras was a prophet. Okay, which the word prophet means to say before. Okay, and the scripture says the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning. Okay, so us that's here today. Okay, now we have the understanding. Okay, also the hopeful elect, starting with the prophets. Okay, that's back in their life. Okay, due to reincarnation, we back here today. Okay, to be risen up and to come out here and teach. Okay, when it comes to these scriptures, man. Okay, so the prophets always give that forewarning, just as today, but even back then. Okay, even more now. And it says the beginning of second Esdras chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, and the word woe means destruction, because that's what's coming to this place in America. Ultimately, this place is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear fire at the peak of the Third World War. Okay, if I ain't mentioning that. Okay, especially by the hands of Russia, China, okay, Iran. Okay, and you just had India strike Pakistan. Okay, and so those are the coming of the Third World War. Okay, but eventually this place is going to get it worse, man. Okay, by the way, and the whole land of this, the whole land of America will be destroyed, man. And it says, second Esdras, but right before that, it's going to go through the time of turmoil. Okay, the time of civil unrest. Okay, uproars of the people. Okay, lawlessness. Okay, but right now, it seems like everything's good. Okay, but there's a saying that what a day can make a difference. Okay, or roughly paraphrasing. Okay, how a day can make a difference, man. Okay, because we in the time now, any moment. Okay, this place can crash, or certain crises can take place, and martial law can be implemented. Okay, or all hell can break loose, man. Okay, but it says, second Esdras chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay, the days that we're in now, end time prophecies. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And they're going to word evil again. Okay, which the word evil means bad times, man. Okay, that's what approaching, man. Okay, and eventually all these Americans, they starting to feel it, man. Okay, but they, trying to, they so deluded, thinking that everything gonna bounce back, or we're gonna get through the tabs, we're gonna get through the, certain inflation, and we're gonna just, think this place gonna continue to get better and better. Okay, now at this point, this place is at its end, man. Okay, according to Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7, that this place ain't gonna be healed. Okay, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. In Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7, and it says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. And once again, America is known as Babylon spiritually in the scriptures. Okay, because you ain't gonna see the actually term America in the Holy Bible. Okay, it's codified or symbolic through different ancient empires, and Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, being one. Once again, the word Babylon means, in the Hebrew, Baal means confusion. Okay, and America is also known as spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. Okay, spiritual Nineveh, Assyria. Okay, because America has took on to all those ancient empire customs, man. Okay, Rome, Greek, okay, or the Greco-Roman Empire. Okay, especially after the mind frame of ancient Greek and Rome, especially when it comes to the Edomites ruling today. Okay, and it says, Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Okay, when it comes to American philosophies, okay, or policies, okay, going into, as I'm going into this lesson, when it comes to the financial system, okay, when it comes to the economy, doing trades as well, when it comes to these other countries, when it comes to the dollar, okay, because all these nations had taken hold into the dollar, okay, once again, which is nothing but debt, okay, because the dollar is not backed up by silver or gold, okay, they been moved that standard, okay, so now the dollar ain't nothing but debt or fiat, okay, or IOUs, okay, ain't nothing but debt, okay, which these elites, these central bankers over. Okay, you can look at Jekyll Island. Okay, all that go into that. Okay, or when it comes to the creation of the Federal Reserve note, okay, which is not constitutional. Okay, but all these nations that took into the American dollar, man. Okay, to the point that these other nations are in debt. Okay, and that's why when eventually, when this place, America, crash, all these economies of these of the world, the government economies of these world, such as China, Russia, Iran, that took on to the dollar. Once it crashed, all the economy is going to crash, man. Their system going to crash, man. Okay, which a lot of these other countries, okay, like China and Russia, okay, they're moving towards digital currency as well. Okay, not just America. Okay, but it's going to be a worldwide thing. Okay, and now you got China and Russia, at the head of the BRICS nation. Okay, which BRICS is an acronym, BRICS. Okay, which meaning Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And since then, you don't have a lot of other countries joining into them. Okay, when it comes to the financial format, okay, of the BRICS nations. Okay, and their whole plan is to get rid of the American dollar and move forward with their format, okay, of currency, okay, which, like I said, that's gonna lead into them going digital, because you got China right now moving in the state of in the mind frame of being digital, okay. Okay, all nations gonna move towards that MOTB. Okay, but now we're at the point that these people here in America thinking that America gonna bounce back. Okay, yeah, these inflation gonna take place. Trump already warned about the tabs. Okay, job losses, certain aid being cut. But these proud ass American, man, they like, man, shit, everything all right. As long as, they still got their bread and circus. Okay, they still got entertainment. They still able to, be to the point of being comfortable. Okay, they figure that everything's gonna go all right, even though it comes to the time of the turbulence. Okay, thinking that everything gonna be, eventually, man, everything gonna get back better, man. America don't experience, certain depressions and recessions, certain crises when it comes to the financial system. Okay, but now this is it, man. Okay, so we at the end of this place, man. This is on Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Okay, like I said, okay, when it comes to that cup going into their philosophies. Okay, this place is known for its philosophies, democracy, the politics. Okay, like I said, the dollar. Okay, this place is known for also as pushing all type of different sets of religions. Okay, you can worship any God that you want. Okay, any idol that you want. Okay, you can be a Christian or a Muslim. Okay, you can be, believe in Roman Catholicism, Egyptology. Okay, do as thou will, man. Okay, yeah, you a man, you have the mindset that you want to be a woman, yeah, you can do that. Okay, you can change your gender and all, vice versa. Okay, that's what they push you in America, man. Okay, you can be anything that you want. Once again, which is a bunch of confusion. Okay, and it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How? And it says, verse 7. And it says, the nations had drunken up on wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay? Yeah, to the point that when it comes to these other nations, they don't took on not only just the dollar, but the philosophies and the ways of America, or the structures of America. Okay? Now you got China and Japan or Africa, Russia, certain foreign countries, they look like America. Okay, when it comes to their structure, okay, mainly mimicking New York. Okay, with the skyscrapers, the busy cities. Okay, so now that's part of the philosophy or the wine that the nations had to take a part of, man. Okay, to the point that these other nations in the mind frame as America. Okay, but now we to the point that a lot of these nations, stricken now. Okay, because now a lot of these nations, they ain't allowed in all that nasty agenda in their country. Okay, certain violence in their country. Okay, a lot of these other countries are being strict when it comes to their policies, man. Okay, but here in America, it's do or die will. Okay, one point. But now we to the point that Trump, moving to the point, man, all y'all freedoms, your American freedoms, think you have rights. Now all that's about to be taken away, man. Okay, and you have to come up under our draconian measures or our strict legislations. Okay, as they're moving towards, like I said, the NWO, man. Okay, and it says, verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Okay, and the balm representing the healing organ. Okay, but this place ain't gonna be healed, man, when it comes to America. Okay, it's too far on going, man. Okay, when it comes to this financial system. Okay, now they want to bring a reset, man. Okay, when it comes to this place in America and globally. Okay, and all that's going to tie into that RFID micro. Okay. Hold on. Oh, give me a minute. Oh. I've been saying, it's not for the interruption. Like I've been saying, now this place ain't about to, bounce back, as usual. Okay? So we find at the point of this place collapsing. Okay? Jeremiah chapter back in the 51. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse verse 9. It says, "We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reached into heaven and is lifted up even to the skies." Yeah, so now this place is on the verge of this judgment, destruction. Okay? Because this place is known also as, like I said, the captivity of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, once again, which happened to be Israel. Okay? Okay? And so this place is on this destruction. Due to all the wickedness that, and the enslavement of the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, the bloodshed, okay, the blaspheming, okay, over here in America, okay, because over here in America, through Christianity, plantation Christianity, okay, we're taught, okay, that when it comes to the God of the Bible, that he's white, okay, the sun is white, okay, we got the whole false image today, okay, which stems back to Cesare Borgia, okay, during the time of the Borgia family in the Renaissance, okay, but even before that, Serapis Christus, okay, but in this modern day time now, that our people worship Cesare Borgia, okay, that's the false image, okay, that Esau Edom portrayed of the Lord, man, okay, but a lot of our people still to this day believing that what the world called Christ is a so-called white man. What the world called God is a so-called white man. Okay? All that. When it comes to the Bible, all nations can be saved. Okay? Nah, that's a lie, man. Okay? Hey, so this place got a lot. When it comes to many reasons why Yahweh Shema Shah going to destroy this place, man. Okay? And it says, and so this place ain't going to be healed. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9, it says, "We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, every one, into his own country." And that's what you start to see. Okay, more and more as these financial crashes, or financial woes, I say, hitting this place when it comes to this economy. A lot of these nations are fleeing. Okay, getting up out of here, man. Okay, and a lot of our people. Okay, you got the past the past port bros, I say, the past port bros, okay, people leaving it generally of our people, women, okay, trying to, get out of here, okay, or just people just trying to go back to their original country, okay, where they reside at, okay, or people that have been once grew up over here and found success, when it comes to certain generations. Okay, they got people back home, or family back to other countries. Now they flee. Okay, because they seen that this place is on a downfall, man. Okay, I say. Okay, but us that's in the faith, okay, us are the hopeful elect. We know that eventually Yahweh Shema Shah come back to deliver us, man. Okay, and even where you go, man, all hell gonna break loose. Judgment already set. Okay. Okay, but here in America, we believe that Yahweh Shema Shah going to liberate us, okay, and deliver us, man. And on top of that, as we here in America, we got a job to do when it comes to the prophets to come out here and prophesy the downfall of this place, man. Okay, making our body a living sacrifice, man. Okay, but we know eventually, okay, Yahweh Shema Shah going to deliver the elect worldwide, but the main deliverance is going to take place here in America. Okay, according to and when it comes to the elect being delivered by the way of the chariots worldwide, according to Matthew chapter 24, verse 29 through 31. Okay, but that's it on that. I'm gonna get back into 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. Second Ezra chapter 16, and going back into the financial woes. And at the same time, majority of our people, they think that everything is good, right along with the average American. Okay, like I said, everything's still reasonable. Okay, they still able to, people that who haven't been laid off yet. Okay, still able to go to their jobs, still able to take care of their financial, situations, when it comes to their, utilities, with their bills, etc. Okay, but now they starting to see, man, damn, things, going up, prices going up. Okay, that people that ain't kind of well off, but soon when they inflation or hyperinflation kick in, okay, that is going to lead into more and more civil unrest. This is Second Ezra chapter 16. Back into Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 18. And it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the many. Yeah, scourge. We're going into the plagues that Yahweh Shema Shah about to bring to this place, man. Okay, because scourge is a whip. Okay, and when the Lord bringing more and more plagues to this place, okay, you already got the financial woes. Okay, but this place already getting hit with earthquakes, tornadoes, severe heat, severe cold weather. Okay, and food shortages, which more and more going to lead to famine. Okay, uproars of the people. Okay, they're all plagues, man. Okay, pestilence. Okay, that Yahweh Shema Shah bringing upon this place. Okay, but at the same time, everything's still kind of as normal. Okay, but these elites are already setting it up. Okay, to bring more crisis. Because a lot of these crises are already, things that I mentioned. A lot of these things are already orchestrated, man. Okay, that these elites are already, putting in play. Okay, and as I say, man, once again, order out of chaos, man. Okay, a lot of these riots or protesting, a lot of it already set up through these elites, through agent provocateurs. Okay, a lot of agents. Okay, that's out there provoking the people. Okay, when it comes to certain people that's out there, okay, that really protesting for their rights and all that, for their freedom. A lot of mixed within them, the agent provocateurs. Okay, yeah, a lot, like I said, the food shortages is already orchestrated. Okay, because by the past couple of years now, a lot of food processed facilities being destroyed, mysteriously being burnt. Okay, you got a lot of these higher up these elites taking over the farmer industrial. Okay, when it comes to a lot of GMOs, food being more and more produced. Okay, a lot of cattle being euthanized. Okay, a lot of vegetables and fruits and plants being destroyed. Okay, so that's Esau Edom with his sword on the left hand side, man. Okay, or Yahweh Shema Shah. What's the sword that the Lord gave Esau Edom is his blessing. Okay, his blessing, man. When it comes to his sword, his technology, his weather modification machines. Okay, a dual weapon. Okay, when it comes to a lot of these wildfires, okay, a lot of them are already set up. Okay, or orchestrated, man. Okay, because that's part of Esau Edom bringing more crisis to bring order. Okay, when it comes to certain orchestrated events. Okay, we already know about the F flags. Okay, a lot of we already know about the scam demic. Okay, that happened in 2020, and they still playing on that. Okay, when it comes to the JVs, okay, all that was orchestrated, man. Okay, but that's Esau Edom on the left hand side. Okay, doing the will of Yahweh Shema Shah when it comes to the blessing of the sword. Okay. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the amendment. Like I say, the scourges, okay, which the scourge represent, whip, okay, and it's coming in the form of these plagues, man. Okay, I'll name a few, okay, which all of, like I say, Esau, Edom, during the time, at the time now, using the sword, okay, but really it's all Yahweh Shemel Shah, okay, using Esau, Edom, okay. Matter of fact, let me get this. Psalms. Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. And it says, arise, O Lord, Yahweh Bashmal Shai, disappoint him. And that's what eventually Yahweh Bashmal Shai is going to do. Okay, he's going to disappoint Esau. Okay, when it comes to their whole agenda of their NWO. Okay, and how the Lord going to disappoint him? Yahweh Shai return and take him out of power, man. Okay, by the way of the chariots, what the world call UFOs, man. Okay, and by the way of his word, starting off with the way of his word, okay, by the way of the prophets, prophesying their downfall, okay, but through their pride, okay, they think that they ain't gonna go down, man. Okay, to the point they're gonna come against the prophets when it comes to the persecution, okay, when it comes to the demonization, okay, when it comes to the censorship, okay, when it comes to the eventually the famine of the word, man. Okay, hey, but Yahweh Shemel Shai going to disappoint him when Yahweh Shai return and take him out of power by the way of the chariots, okay, the host of the angels, man. Okay, which is going to lead to this place of America destruction, which is going to indicate Esau Edom downfall and these heathens, and eventually they're going to go into captivity up under us, man. Okay, when it comes to the nation of Israel, starting with the hopeful elect. Okay, when Yahweh Shai return and redeem the elect. Okay, Psalm chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, once again, Esau Edom is the sword of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, and they are known as the wicked, according to Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Okay, so Yahweh Shemel Shai set up Esau Edom. Okay, on the left hand side. Okay, through the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, because Satan is an angel on the left hand side that do the bidding of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, which the word Satan or Shaitan in the Hebrew mean adversary. Okay, so Satan is set up on the left hand side, right along with the angels. Okay, what the world will call demons. Okay, which the word demon means intelligence. Okay, so they end up with evil angels or spirits on the left hand side that do the bidding of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, and when it comes to Esau Edom, the Edomites, starting with these elites on down, they are the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan here on the earth, and they ain't hard to tell today. Okay, especially you're an Israelite that have woken up into this truth and then fully understand who are the Edomites today. Okay, when they get their power from, okay, and their whole agenda at this time. Okay, so but eventually all of it ties into Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, setting them up on the left hand side when it comes to wickedness, and then when it comes to the sword, man. Okay. Second Esdras chapter 16, back into Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 21, and it says, "Behold, virtues shall be so good cheap upon earth," and there's going to virtues going into goods. Okay, like now, we got certain goods now, even though now they threatening and giving warning. Okay, that when it comes to shortages about to take place in America. And now, people still, this thing's still reasonable, even though price is gonna go up. But soon, when it comes to, when it comes to inflation, but soon hyperinflation is gonna kick in. Okay, and they're already saying about it, the coming months, man, the coming weeks, here in May. Okay, leading into June and July. Okay, due to all these ports being shut down, due to the trucking business. Okay, so like I said, a lot of these merchandises, okay, or products that's being brought into these stores, okay, was already, reserves for years now, or a couple of years, ever since the whole CV during the time of 2020. Okay, last resorts. Okay, and certain goods, that throughout the time, that America, did trade in goods too, or did goods, or had received goods from other countries. Okay, but now to the point they about to feel that effect. Okay, these American people, man. Okay, especially now do these tariffs, man. And now all of a sudden they talking about see if we can make a deal with China and other countries, mainly China. Okay, they're trying to take a halt on the ports. But China already said, man, we ain't sending none of our goods over here, man. Okay, especially when it comes to the goods of clothing, okay, technology or electronics, okay, such as certain phones or TVs, okay, computers, tablets, video game consoles, and all that, which China is known for, okay. But they're known for just beside electronics, they're known for also clothing, certain products, food, okay, all type of merchandise, okay. Because every damn thing you see here in America, when you see the trademark, it got made in China, okay, or made in Taiwan, or made in somewhere else besides America. Okay, like I said, America is known for an import country, man. Okay, so when a lot of these countries start sending their merchandise over here by the way of the harbor or the ports, okay, then they're gonna be to the point that in America, if we're gonna have to, a little bit of merchandise or products that we got, and we're gonna have to manufacture with it, and at the same time, got to put the prices up on it, and at the same time, lay them people off, okay? Because it's all about those that amongst these companies here in America, the rich get richer and the poor get poor. Okay, now it's to the point that if people that do still have jobs, okay, if you're gonna overwork them but underpay them, okay, that show you the greed of Esau Edom. Okay, down to these elites, down to the lesser luminary ones, man. And the average Edomite that's over here, okay, they got these companies, man. Okay, that trying to survive themselves. Okay, because they gonna feel the tabs. They make millions of dollars, okay, off their businesses. Okay, but they rather than see their workers and the consumers suffer. At the same time, paying them pennies, and at the same time, trying to get rich off the consumers, man. Okay? But let me continue on. And it says 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, virtue shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. That's what is about to happen. All these tariffs about to take place. All these, like I said, tariffs and inflation about to take place. But the majority of people, they think they're in a good case. Okay, right along with the average American citizen when it comes to these heathens. Okay, yeah, but evils are growing. Okay, more and more we pushing towards the Third World War, civil unrest, a financial crash. Okay, yeah, but you got a lot of our people, okay, amongst Israel, okay, they're not taking heed. You got a lot of these false Israelite camps that are not prophesying the downfall of this place. Okay, not teaching about the RFID micro being the microchip being the MOTB in Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. A lot of these camps such as IUIC, they saying that it's something spiritual or sin, it's an embargo, okay, it's a hegemony. But now they kind of switching up, because that's how IUIC do. Start with their head, Bishop Nathaniel, and those the men that are up under him. And you have one individual saying that it could be, sometimes they throw that in there, it could be an RFID micro, okay, but they ain't gonna go that far. Okay, like the latest now, they talking about the MOTB. We had this one individual, I think named Bishop Malachi or something like that. Excuse me, for the name, but lately he was saying that he trying to add the MOTB, okay, when it comes to this financial system, how Trump moving, Okay, now that he's pushing out the real digital ID, okay, he been saying that can be tied into the MOTV. Okay, but now I go farther than that, man. Okay, that's the step. Okay, but it's going to be a physical device. Okay, when it comes to the RFID micro being implanted into people's hands, man, or foreheads. And when you looking, if you spiritually discerning, okay, or have the spiritual eyesight and the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shah is showing you, you can see that's where the world is moving towards you when it comes to these elite agenda. Okay, like I said, cashless society, digital currency, okay, neural link. Okay, look all those things up, man. And look at Revelation 13, verse 16, and see how all that gonna tie into what we're seeing now, man. Okay? Like I said, a lot of these camps are not giving that forewarning, man. Okay, they're not teaching about Jacob's trouble. Okay, a lot of these camps, their whole notion is to trying to save all Israel. Okay, it's all about the law, statutes, commandments. Okay, which the law, statutes, commandments is good. Okay, but we're not going to be justified by the law, statutes, commandments as we rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, and mainly the elect are going to be justified by faith, through faith. Okay, Yahweh Shah is going to deliver the elect, and through faith, the elect is going to keep the law, statutes, commandments. Okay, to the best of their ability. Okay, they putting in the work, man. Coming out teaching, giving diligence to make our call and election sure. Okay, and preaching and believing. Okay, as we in this grace period, man. Okay, a lot of these camps, they just push it's all about the law, statute, commandments. It's all about the fringes. Okay, and they take the word of the Lord and make it merchandise. Okay, selling the truth. Okay, a lot of these camps don't sold out. A lot of these camps about being militant, taking up arms. Okay, training, like ISUPK recently or lately. Okay, making a fool out of themselves, man. Okay, which is this, as we in this war, it's a spiritual war at this time now. Okay, it's all about being spiritual. Okay, mentally. Okay, not thinking carnal, man. Okay, a lot of these camps are doing that, man. Sakari, in the mind frame of being militant, having guns and at camp. Okay, a lot of these Israelites into that, man. A lot of Israelites into self-gain or self-recognition, doing interviews. Okay, set jetting, doing interviews. Okay, like IUIC. Okay, especially the head Bishop Nathaniel. They done went out to Kenya, and we know how that turned out. Okay, they done went out to France, and they got them run out of France, I believe. Okay, they just want to go set jet. Okay, I think they recently went to some other place, and they boasted how they went over there to travel to wake up Israel. Okay, which our apostle, the apostle and the elders of Great Millstone always say that the internet do the heavy lifting, man. Okay, it just put the word up on YouTube or whatever platform, and how about Shah gonna take care of the rest, man. Okay, we ain't got to physically get on jets or boats, to go overseas to reach the Israelites. Okay, and the main thing, like I said, the internet do the heavy lifting, and the word of Yahweh Shah is going to gather the elect, man. Okay, spiritually. Okay, but mainly the word of Yahweh Shah is coming out here in America, as Elder Apostle Tahar always been making mention lately. Okay, this was mainly the word is going to reach on worldwide, man, the elect worldwide, and this is where mainly the great deliverance is going to take place, man. Okay, but like I said, a lot of these camps, they're not giving that forewarning, man. Okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. Behold, virtues shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So that's straight judgment. because that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is about to bring. And just majority of our people, while on with these American, these heathens, and their comfortability. Okay? Mainly our people, man. Because this word is only for Israel. And for these heathens, man, Yahweh Shema Shah is going to destroy them. Okay? Because they are our enemies, man. Okay? And there ain't no way of salvation for them. Okay? So only Israel, man. And those that descended out of that bloodline. Because I have to say, because you got so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, okay, that look like other nations due to the, the diaspora or the scattering and the curses. So you're going to have Israelites looking like other nations, okay, because we don't scatter amongst other nations. And when it comes to the men, they lay their seed, okay, Israelite men, they lay their seed amongst these heathen nations, okay, but those that look like other nations, okay, that come into the truth, they're 10 out of 10, they're Israelites, man, okay, that believe. And those that's amongst them, that's of the elect, they're going to be delivered, okay, but those that look like other nations, okay, that don't believe, okay, they part of the 2/3. Like recently, you had this individual, okay, I think they've been the head of Cincinnati, Ohio, GMS camp, some years ago. Okay, now he don't come out talking about how he been a former white, black Hebrew Israelite. Okay, which that's madness. Okay, because your nationality is not determined by white. Okay, which you saw Edom call himself white. Okay, which the word white means pure, innocent. Okay, that's a construct name that they put upon himself. If we know about black, okay, black means negative, void of light, darkness, negativity, like I say, evil, and that's what they put upon us. Okay, especially when it comes to the head tribe, Judah. Okay, the so-called Negroes. Okay, but ain't no such thing as white or black, man. Okay, you are determined by your nationality. Okay, and like I say, you had the individual, a former member of Great Millstone, that appeared to be white. Okay, but he's an Israelite. But the thing is that he fell out the truth and discontinued. Okay, discontinued from the truth or got disenchanted for whatever reason. But now all of a sudden, we find out that more and more women had ties with Vocab Malone and where the dude that kind of reported on Abu, whatever his name is. Okay, which he in league with Vocab Malone. But then now he coming out talking about why he left the Hebrew Israelite. Okay, even though he appeared himself to be look to be white. Okay, well, like I say, most likely he's a Jake that got disenchanted, even though his skin tone is different from the average so-called Negro, Latino, Native American that's involved in the ministry. Okay, but he left the faith. Okay, so therefore he gonna be part of the 2/3. Okay, so right now it's all about the elect. Okay, it doesn't matter your skin tone. Okay, and eventually all Israel gonna be changed. Okay, starting with the elect. When the Lord delivered the elect by the way of the chariots, man. Okay, because when it comes to the sinful flesh, okay, when the Lord delivered the elect, we're gonna be changed, man. Us are the hopeful elect. Okay, from being mortal into immortality. That's when the new covenant is gonna be in place, man. Okay, in our inward parts, man. Okay. That's it on that. Let me get this and I'll get ready to close. Okay, so this is the time now, man. Okay, the secret, how about you now, Shah, why you may be found? Because we about to come into the time of great calamities. Okay, and and tribulations, man. Okay, but only the elect is gonna be delivered. A lot of our people not preparing themselves for that. Like I said, they're in the state of comfortability. Matter of fact, let me get this. This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. It says, make no tarrying. The word tarrying means to put off. Okay? And it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in our security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Okay, so that's the times that we're coming into. Okay, you average so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans that put the day of the Lord off. Okay, that you and your security. Hey, not at this time now. You, Elder Manat Zappa from the Great Millstone, South Carolina Murder Beach branch, they're putting up compilations of videos of certain individuals. Okay, they're coming against the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, they're debunking it, trying to debunk the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. Okay, why they don't believe in the camps, why they don't believe in the doctrine, or certain former Israelites that once been part of the ministry or belief, they don't fell out and went back into the world, and now they scoff and scorn. Okay, a lot of those videos that Elder Manat Zappa putting up, okay, is surfing lately. Okay, that he's putting up now, showing our people when it comes to their non-belief. Okay, but that's okay. Okay, because really they ain't a security, man. Okay, for those that coming against the truth, down to the average so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, that's not acknowledging the truth, but want to be secured in this world, man. Okay, although it be told to them by the way of the prophets, that great judgment is upon this place. Okay, so Lord says suddenly, okay, in their security, they're gonna be destroyed, man. Okay, and it says, and perish in the day of vengeance. Set not thy heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. And that's the time we're coming into. Like I've been going into many, our people that, when it comes to the financial situation, the economy on the verge of collapsing, but still our people put their trust in this place, man, thinking that this economy going to continue on to prosper, man. Okay? Thinking they're going to continue on with their career, their jobs. But a lot of these people feeling it now when it comes to these layoffs, man, or some aid being cut. Okay? Especially these women. Okay? Because they mostly, as they say, the breadwinner, okay, or got the most privilege. Okay? Especially when it comes to the Negro, Latino, Native American woman. Okay? Which we know Esau Edom set them up anyway. Okay? To have more of a hedge over the man. Okay? Falsely. Okay? So they can, the Lord, eventually the Lord gonna destroy them, but how, 2/3 of our women, okay, but now they're getting their wake-up call, man, okay? And Esau Edom through feminists, okay, and as now woman empowerment, okay, Esau Edom set them up, okay, to be over the men, okay, when it comes to the Negro, Latino, Native American men, okay, but now Esau Edom start to cut certain aid from them, okay, and laying them off from their jobs and all that, man. Okay, to the point that they're gonna have to eventually look for men. And that's why, lately, brothers been going into Isaiah 4:1. Okay, Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. Okay, it could be coming to the time when Yahweh Shema Shah is about to raise up the elect men, okay, to be the hedge, man. The elect men being more precious than fine gold. Okay, as it says in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Okay, I believe, but verse 9. No, I just quote the scripture now because I'm about to, get ready to close. But I'm gonna make sure I quote them right. Isaiah chapter 13. Isaiah chapter 13, verse. Let me see. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. And it says, and I will make a man more precious than a fine gold. Hold on. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. And that's going to the elect men. Okay, that's the number that we striving to be part of. Okay, but the whole point I brought out that scripture, like I said, because I didn't want to, I quote it, and I wanted to misquote it. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12, going into how Yahweh Shema Shah is going to set up the men. Okay, the elect men, once again, to be the hedge, man. And you women, okay, eventually the elect women, okay, going to have to fall in order under the elect men. Okay, like I say, that's when you're going to have Isaiah 4:1, okay, taking place. Okay, but now a lot of our women, they feeling it, man. A lot of our women they're gonna be destroyed when it comes to the 2/3. The majority of our women, they're gonna make up the 2/3, man. Okay, and you're gonna have, like I say, men, all when it comes to the 2/3, men, women, and children are gonna be destroyed, man. According to Ezekiel chapter, starting with Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4, and throughout, man. Okay, because the only ones that's gonna be exempt is the elect, okay, or the men, women, and children of the elect. And the 2/3 of our people that perish on this side, they're gonna have to come back in the kingdom, being sons and daughters, okay, of the elect, okay, which is reincarnation, okay. But I read Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 7 and 8, okay, going to not making tarry unto the Lord. Okay, matter of fact, let me get this. Like I said, I'll get ready to close. Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 9. And it says, and then shall they be in a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that had cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. And that's how they despitefully cast away the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah. Majority of our people are not taking heed to the prophets, man. That's out here on the highways and byways. And this word being published by the way of the internet. Like I said, majority of our people, they scorn, man. Okay, when it comes to the majority of, the men and women, especially women, they scoff and scorn. Okay, like I've been going into, a couple of minutes ago. Okay, people that coming against the Hebrew Israelites, man, debunking the Hebrew Israelites, why they don't believe in the doctrine or the camps. Okay, why they left. Okay, especially when it comes to a lot of these Negro, Latino, Native Americans that's amongst Christianity, coming against the Hebrew Israelites. Man. Don't follow the Hebrew Israelite camp. Okay, they teaching that all nations ain't gonna be saved, especially when it comes to Esau, Edom, the so-called white race. That's the whole problem. The Esau, Edom can't be saved. Okay, it ain't right. Okay, but when it comes to the scriptures, they ain't gonna be saved. Okay, Hebrews 12 and 16. Okay, goes into that. Okay, when it comes to the true men of Yahweh Shema Shah, we stick to the script, man. Okay, but a lot of our people, they don't want to hear the scriptures, man. They want to rely on their own opinion, okay, or their own, self-truth, okay, what they think they have, man, okay, which they being deceived, man. Okay, eventually, Yahweh Shema Shah just set them up to be an example, okay, when it comes to non-believers, okay, and eventually the Lord going to destroy them, okay. Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 9. And then shall they be in a pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast away despitefully shall dwell in torments. As we come into the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? The time now, even more in the Jacob trouble and the end of it. Okay, leading to this place destruction. Okay, a lot of people be caught up into these civil wars, martial law, race wars, okay, famine, pestilence, okay, and ultimately, those of our people that take that RFID micro, they're going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles and the chariots, okay, bringing fire, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, okay. So we coming in those times, man. And then they're gonna want to, when all hell break loose, then they're gonna want, like I said, want to seek the Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, by the way of the prophets. Okay, and it says, verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits they had not known me, and they that had lost my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. Okay, that's how it go. Okay, when it comes to the two-thirds of our people, the non-believers of our people, okay, that scoff and scorning, or those are people that generally that just into the world is not taking heed. Okay, but there ain't gonna be no excuse. Okay, because Yahweh Shema Shah has sent the prophets, man. Okay, to give them that forewarning of what's to come. Okay, as long as they scoff, they scorn, and when it comes to their non-belief, it eventually all going to judge them. Okay, our hope is that we pray that we are the election, that the Lord deliver us, man. Okay, because we know the terrible and the terrors of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Okay, we know the fear, it has the fear of the Lord, man. Okay, we know that the outcome in this place when it comes to end time prophecy and the judgment, man. Okay, that's why we give praise to Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, and count ourselves blessed that as we in this calling and hopefully be chosen, that the Lord gave us the understanding, man, to give us the eyesight to see what's happening. Okay, and to continue on to keep fighting and keep pushing. The Scripture says those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved, man. Okay, that's the number that we striving to be part of, man. Okay, because when all hell break loose, okay, the Lord gonna look over, but cover, okay, his elect. Okay, he's gonna be with his elect. Okay, even through the trials and tribulations, or even after being a martyr. Okay, but those that die in the faith, they're gonna be the first ones raising up when Yahweh Shai return. Okay, and gather the rest of the elect that remain for salvation. Okay, and eventually the Lord gonna crown the elect. The elect gonna be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Okay, and rule. Okay, that's the number that we're trying to be part of, man. So majority of our people that scoff and scorn, or individuals that just went back into the world and got disenchanted, and let them be, man. Okay, and we striving to keep fighting, man, keep pushing. Okay, because we know the reward, man. Okay, but majority of our people, like I say, they scoff, they scorn, they let them be. Okay, soon Jacob trouble hit. The elder apostle always made mention, and the rest of the, the brethren. It ain't gonna be no, hey, it ain't gonna be no saying, are we in the time of Jacob trouble? And they're gonna know, okay? We're in the time now, man. Okay, like I say, these tariffs about to take effect more and more. Okay, you seeing Jake acting out in the world, okay? Amongst each other, all the wickedness that's going on amongst each other. Okay, and you see the racial tensions. Okay, we know about the whole situation now lately. Okay, with about the Jake that ran the police up, ran that police officer over. Okay, killing him due to that the fact he retaliated due to his son got shot. Okay, by Edomite cop. Okay, and the next day he retaliated running the Edomite cop over. Okay, and you see the videos, man. Okay, that they had him in court, giving him his hearing and his charges and all that. And then we had about 30 cops around him, mostly Edomites. Okay, 30 of them. And as he turned, they take him, from out of the courtroom to go to, the jail, I guess, or whatever, prison, whatever, as it was apprehended. And he turned around and look at him, stare at all of them, man. Okay, and due to that, you got a lot of Jakes raising up. Okay, the racial tensions, Jake applauding him and on edge. Okay, Edomites on edge. Okay, but they upset with what happened. Okay, so you're seeing the racial tensions taking place, man. Okay, that's all biblical prophecy, man. Okay, Matthew the 24th chapter go into that. Okay, Yahweh Shai said what to look for. Nations against nations, kingdom against kingdom. Okay, uproars of the people, man. Okay, so it's all coming to it, man. Coming to the point of Yahweh Shema Shai bringing the closed curtains on this place of America, man. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson here. And I pray that the lesson will edify. Just as I open up, I want to close out by giving all praises unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach and that rule well today. A salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry, and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the hopeful. Shalom.